go ahead and get started. Thanks everybody for joining us for our Revolutionize collaboration with Teams and Planner webinar. I'm Erin Boyle. I'm the marketing manager here at Marquee 360, and I also have on the call with me Stella Salom. Stella, you want to say hello?
Hi, my name is Stella Salom, and I'm a solutions architect here at Marquee 360.
Thanks, Stella. Stella's going to be going through our demo portion for today. All right, so a quick agenda. We are going to talk a little bit about Marquee 360, go over the new Microsoft Planner, and then Stella's going to give us a demonstration of how Teams and Planner connect for collaboration for your teams. So a little bit about Marquee 360. We were founded by industry veterans who have been with Microsoft, especially in the project space, since project server, so over 20 years of experience, and we followed all those iterations of project now through to the new planner and also the Power Platform with Microsoft. So we stay on track of all the innovations that is coming from Microsoft to make sure that our customers stay up to date and that our products are using the latest technologies. We help customers take any of their manual processes and create workflows in the background to let your team focus on the work that matters. And our three main focus areas are innovation, customer success, and support. So like I said, we do work closely with the Microsoft product team to make sure that we're using the latest technology and are following along with their research and development team and product development. And a lot of that has been with the Power Platform Planner and also with Copilot and agents coming out. So there's been a lot of new developments in Microsoft space. We also want our customers to be successful when we do an implementation. So we work hand in hand and learn about your business processes and make sure that you're getting an implementation that fits and work with you through adoption and change management and just make sure that you're as successful as possible with with the solutions that you're getting. And then we also offer support. So we have a hypercare support team, and then we have also support hours where our customers can use buckets of hours, or they can sign up for a monthly subscription, and that covers all of the Microsoft 365 products, whether that's sometimes it's something broken, but if you want enhancements, you can use those support hours for that as well. So it's very popular amongst our customers. So like I said, we are Microsoft project partner, and with the new planner, Microsoft had project for the web and they had to do, and they brought those together to give you one simple place to work in for your whole team. I'm going to put a poll in the chat quickly just to learn how familiar you all are with the new planner, because that just gives me an idea of what you're already know and what we can go over. Can you guys see the poll on your side?
Yes.
Awesome. Somewhat familiar, very familiar, not familiar. Okay, so we have a good mix. Awesome. So the new Microsoft Planner is Microsoft's latest innovation in the project management space, and it gives you an app to work in where all of your tasks and your team's tasks can be managed in one place. It's simple where you get those Kanban boards, and it's flexible. So if you want to have it build up the capabilities, you can to create an enterprise work management system within the tool. And then it's intelligent. So it does come with Copilot, and you can use that to build your plans, analyze your data. So I am going to pass it over now to Stella to specifically talk about how best you can collaborate using Planner. And while
Right.
Stella's getting her screen ready, if you all have questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to unmute and ask, or you can put your question in the chat as well.
All right, let's get started. So let's get started with how to access the Planner app. The best way to access it is going to be opening a tab or application where you have the waffle here. And in the browser, we can see if you go to the waffle, what we call here in the top left corner, I can see Planner here. If it doesn't appear, I can use the Find Microsoft apps to search for Planner and I can open it. This is what we're going to call the formal application that we're seeing here. We also can use Planner within Teams. And to do that, as you can see here, I have the Teams application open. On our left-hand nav, we're going to click on this ellipses here where it says View More Apps. I can search for Planner, and then I can click on this icon to add it to my left-hand nav here. I can then right click on it to pin it so it stays here. As you can see, I already have it pinned, so it's asking me to unpin or uninstall. So I would just pin it here and then it will stay here. Now it's important to note that the planner within Teams is actually going to receive updates before the traditional application here. So there are lots of benefits, especially for collaboration, which we're discussing today. I can easily be chatting with someone in the Teams app, be in my Teams, updating a chat room, and then I can easily navigate over here to Planner. So for collaboration purposes, I would recommend using the Planner within Teams, but you also can use Planner traditional app as well, which we'll be discussing today. So starting right here, we have my day, as you can see here, and by default, the tasks in my day are going to appear that are due today. As you can see here, it's 4:10. This webinar, Revolutionize Collaboration with Teams and Planner, is showing up as it is due today. We also have final closeout due today as well. And when we go to the board view here, I can see that they are grouped by priority. I can also group them by plan, by progress, and I can actually manage the progress on this one. So for example, this one here is about to be completed. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop it into the completed bucket here, and it's going to mark it completed for me. I can also group by due date, so you can see today, my completed tasks, as you can see here. And I can also group by priority. Back on the grid view here, we can see here that all my columns are added. I have task name, plan, due date, priority, progress, and quick look. If this task has any checklist items or attachments, a little icon would appear in the quick look column, which we'll talk about when we get to the plan more. If I were to hide a column here and then I go add column, it's going to appear in the add column, but no columns appear right now when I click add column because they're all already added here. Now moving over to my tasks, I mentioned that my day shows all tasks that are due today, but if I want to add a specific task to my day, I can actually right click on a task such as this one here and say add to my day. And now when I go back to my day, I can see that specific task appearing here as well. I can go ahead and manage that task, so I can go ahead and mark it as complete. And then in my tasks here, we're going to see all the tasks that I've been assigned across all of these different plans. Once again, we're going to have those columns such as task name, plan, due date, progress, and priority. And I can actually open a plan here to manage it. Now, as we can see here, this is a plan that I own. So when I click on this here, it's going to allow me to update this. But if I'm simply assigned to a task on someone else's plan, we're going to see that's going to look more like this. So it's going to be locked from letting me actually add description or anything here. Now we can see here also this is a recurring task, which is indicated by this here. So it's a recurring task that occurs on a weekly basis in this case. We can see my quick look column. There are 3 checklist items, as you can see here. And if I mark 1 complete, that'll update on my quick look column too to show me 2 out of 3 are complete. There's also a note associated with this, as we can see here. In my plans, this is going to show me all of my plans, and I can actually search for a specific plan too by key name up here. If I type in webinar, I can see all of my different plans, as you can see here. Now we'll talk about portfolios if we have time at the end, but do know that it does require a Plan 3 license. Here I have my pinned plans, as you can see here, and let's go ahead and create a new plan. To create a new plan, I can create a new plan from the top right here where it says new plan, or from the bottom left here where it says new plan. Keep in mind, if I want to click on new plan from the top right, I'll need to be in the my plan section. If I'm in my tasks, I don't see that. I have to be in my plan specifically to create a new plan from the top right. But at any point where I'm at, I can always create a new plan from the bottom left. If I click on the arrow, it's going to ask if I want to create a new plan or portfolio. I can also create a new portfolio directly within the portfolios area as well. I'm going to select on new plan. I'm going to see some different options here, such as basic, premium, and plan with project manager, which is the PM agent. I can also see below here, I have some basic and premium templates, as you can see. So let's take a look at our premium templates. As you can see here, when I go into templates, it's going to show me the PM agent templates here. Let's scroll down and look at the project management templates. If I select on simple plan, I can see some key benefits for this template, such as organize any plan, large or small, manage your tasks, customize your plan to meet your needs. And this comes in basic only. If I want to use this template, I can select use template from the bottom right. We can see the project management template also comes in basic and premium, and some key benefits are that it's structured conceptualization of your plan's goal and scope, systematic planning guidance, and it keeps track of progress and execution. We can see the commercial construction template is only going to come in premium, and there are some key benefits also described here below. We also have areas for software development, business, HR, miscellaneous, marketing, and customer schedules as well. Now, for our purposes today, we're actually going to go ahead and create a plan from scratch. We're going to start by creating a basic plan, and all you need to create a basic plan is a Plan 1 license. After we create our basic plan, we're going to convert it to a premium plan, which requires a Plan 3 license. Let's go ahead and start by creating a basic plan. We're going to give this a name, and I'm not going to add a group at this point because I don't want to associate it with an existing group. I want a new group for this one. I am going to go ahead and add it to my pinned plans here on the left. I'm going to select create, and it's going to take me to my board view to start. As we can see here, I'm going to move to my grid view. And the first thing I want to do is apply background. So by clicking on the plan name up here, I can see my plan name. This is also where I would delete this plan here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and apply one of these visuals. We'll go ahead and add a task. From this here, I can hit the enter key and it'll take me to the next line. Hit enter again until it moves to the next line. Now I have some tasks. Here in our basic plan, we're going to have 9 columns, as you can see here. Task name, assignment, where we'll assign tasks to users, start date, due date, bucket, progress, priority, and labels. Now I'm going to want to go ahead and create a group for this by going to the share here and saying your new group, April webinar. I'm under create group. I'm going to select create group here. Now that I've created a group, it's going to activate notifications when I assign users to tasks. Let's go ahead and start by creating some start dates. Now I'm going to go ahead and start assigning tasks to users. Now this is supposed to be synced with your AD. If you start typing in someone's name and don't see them come up, then you're going to want to talk to your Power Apps admin and make sure that this is set here in the background to pull in anyone from AD. I see we have a question in the chat. This is Planner Basic, not Premium, right? Will you ever discuss the project for the web and other webinars? That's actually a great question. Yes, this is Planner Basic. We're going to start here and then we'll convert it to Premium. We actually do have our own custom solution for projects for the web called PPM 360, and we're happy to set up a demo of that for you. We can discuss projects for the web. Charlene, if you could go ahead and reach out to Gareth about that, who's in the chat, that would be great. We do have specific webinars where we do discuss projects for the web, but I would recommend a tailored demo for you. Now, when I assign this task to Charlene, it's going to ask me if I want to assign and add because this member is not a part of the group. I'm going to go ahead and assign and add. So now she should have received the notification that she was assigned to this task, and it will also appear in her My Tasks area as well. I'm going to go ahead and assign some other tasks to myself. We'll go ahead and add Aaron as well. Now that I've had everyone assigned to a task here that I want, the easiest way and my favorite way to actually continue assigning tasks to people is to move over to the board view here and change its group by to group by assigned to. Now I can simply take my remaining tasks and drag and drop them under the person that they need to be assigned to. This is my favorite way of assigning tasks to people, especially when I have a long task list. It makes it easier, in my opinion, rather than having to click on here and do it every time. But it's really up to you on how you want to approach that. Now, by default, when you create a new basic plan, it has the bucket to do, as you can see here. To create new buckets, we would simply come here, change this back to group by bucket, and add a new bucket here. Now, once again, to assign tasks to specific buckets, I can simply drag and drop them here, which is also my favorite way of assigning tasks to specific buckets. Moving back to my grid view, I can see that those have been assigned to specific buckets. Now, Charlene received a notification that she's assigned to this task, and it appears under her My Tasks view. So when Charlene updates her progress on this task, it's automatically going to read to my schedule. So for example, if she marks a task as in progress or Aaron marks a task as in progress, it's going to read back to my schedule here. We'll see when we convert to premium, there's going to be a percent complete column. And if they mark a task as in progress, it'll read that percent complete column as 50% complete, which we'll take a look at after we convert to premium. Now here we have priority, which by default, when I create a new task, is set to medium. With priority, I can also, once again, go to my board view, change the priority here, and assign these different priorities by dragging and dropping, which is once again, my favorite way to do this. I go back to my grid view and I can see my new priority assignments. Another thing we can do here is group by labels, which I don't have any created. So from the grid view, I actually do need to create my labels. So we'll go ahead and add pink. I'm going to mark this as a critical task. I'll create another one here. And now my board view here, I can see that these appear. Once again, I can give the rest of these here. Now, Angela, are you requesting a recording of this demo, or are you requesting a recording of the demo for Project for the Web? Of this demo, yes. That will be provided to all users in this session at the end. You'll be emailed a link to this recording. Correct, Erin?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, absolutely. Also, if anyone has any questions, we have quite a small group today, so please feel free to speak up. We want to make sure that you're getting the most out of this. So far we've created 6 tasks. We've assigned them to users, assigned them start and due dates. We've created some buckets and assigned our tasks to them. We can see here that Erin has managed her task and marked it as in progress, which I can see here. It relayed back to my schedule. We can see that we've managed priority as well and assigned some labels. Now, it looks like a task conversation has started. Thank you, Erin, for doing that. This is key for collaboration using Planner. What's a task conversation? Let's take a look. We can see here that she has made a conversation note on the task that she has started working on this and will send an update shortly. So you can mention people in task conversations as well. And this is a great collaborative method here. I can comment back and say, thank you, Erin. And collaborate with her here. Once again, as we discussed earlier, I can add some checklist items here. And as I mark them complete, it'll show my quick look column. I can also mention if there's a note here as well. And I have my little note thing up here. So this indicates a note, this indicates the task conversation, and this indicates a checklist item. By clicking on any of these, it's going to pop up the card where I can see more information, as you can see here. Now from this view, I can filter specific items too, by due date, by priority, progress, labels, or bucket. So for example, if I say show me all tasks that are in progress, it's going to show me just this one. Keep in mind, when I apply a filter, as I move from view to view, it's only going to show me tasks with that specific filter. So the filter does not reset when I switch from view to view. Now in our board view here, I've already mentioned that we can view by bucket, assign to, progress, due date, labels, or priority. Now let's take a look at our schedule view. Our schedule view is going to be one that we actually don't have in the premium plan. So we can see here that I have this view on a calendar of when my tasks are. As you can see here, this one's in progress and overlaps with these. And I can actually choose to hide future recurring tasks, which I currently don't have in my schedule. What I can do is this kickoff meeting. Let's say that I need a weekly status meeting. It's going to occur on a weekly basis. I can create this task, and I'm going to say it's going to start on the 14th. I can come in here on my schedule and I can click on this, and whether it be from here or from the grid view, I can select here. I can actually choose to repeat this on a weekly basis. So we can see this is recurring throughout my schedule. Now, unlike in Outlook, when you create a recurring event, it asks you the end date. This doesn't have an end date until I mark it completed. So let's say I mark it completed the last week of April. It's going to end here, but it will show me that it occurred 4 weeks in a row. Now, when we convert this to a premium plan, premium plans actually don't support recurring tasks. So instead of doing a direct conversion, it's going to instead create a copy of my schedule, which I don't want. I want a direct conversion. So I'm actually going to remove this recurring task and make it does not repeat. On my schedule view, I can see tasks that are not started in gray, ones in blue that are in progress. And we can see here, I'm going to mark this one complete. Ones that are complete are show up in purple. I can view my schedule by week or by month. And last but not least, we have our charts view, which we can see here. We can see the status. So I have 7 tasks, 5 are not started, 1 is in progress, 1 is completed. I can see how many tasks I have in each bucket. So for example, I have 3 critical tasks, 1 is in progress, 2 are not started, and I have tasks in all priority levels. You can see here, for example, in important, I have 2, 1 of which is completed, 1 of which is not started. In my members area here, I can see the tasks that are assigned to each user. Now in our premium view, this is going to be the one chart that differs the most, and it's going to show vertically instead of showing horizontally. Now that we've finished creating our basic plan, let's go ahead and convert it to a premium plan. We can convert our basic plan to a premium plan simply by trying to access a premium plan view. So we can see the timeline view is premium as well as people and assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and try and access this, and it's going to ask me if I want to convert this to a premium plan. It also says you can change this basic plan to a premium plan and have access to features like timeline, people, goals, and more. Now, if I click on this compare basic versus plans here, I'm going to see some important information. Now, the main thing that we're going to see that differs here is, oddly enough, in a basic plan, I can have up to 9,000 tasks. And this is actually very new. Before, you could only have 1,000 tasks in a premium plan, and it actually told us 1,500 coming soon, but it looks like Microsoft was able to provide this. So this is very new, I would say, as far as like a week or so. So it looks like we can now have up to 3,000 tasks in a premium plan. So that's really exciting. Our other differences are, of course, going to be those views. And if we use this link, which I'm going to go ahead and drop in the chat, you can use this to identify some others as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and select yes, convert now. And it's going to convert my basic plan to a premium plan.
Hi, Stella, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does everyone who's already assigned to this plan have to have a Plan 3 license for you to convert it?
No.
I have a quick question too. If are you able to convert per plan, or is it the entire planner suite?
It's by plan.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is. Okay.
yeah, so you can keep some plans basic or convert the ones that you need a little bit more um, capabilities with.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. So now that I've converted my plan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my plan name here. And as we can see here, a premium plan allows you to create a custom default work week. So as we can see here, currently it's including Sunday and Saturday in our work week, but I don't want that to be included in my work week. So I'm going to put Monday through Friday only, and I'm going to go ahead and select apply. If I would have had any dates in my schedule that were on a Saturday or Sunday, it would have pushed it to the next business day, which is now defined as Monday through Friday. I can see here that I'm the plan owner. In the premium plan, to delete a plan is I'll click the ellipses from the top here and select delete plan. I can see the start date is 4/10, as you can see here. And unfortunately, one caveat here is that when it converts, we can see here that it converted my tasks out of order. So kickoff meeting was at the top, and now it's at the very bottom. So using this, I can actually drag and drop them back in order. There is not a way to change. So Chris is asking, is there a way to change the default work week? Mine defaults to Monday through Friday, and I would prefer a default of all 7 days. So that is actually controlled by your organization on the back end via Power Apps. So if you would prefer default of all 7 days, you would need to talk to your Power Apps admin and have them change that. And that would be changed for the entire organization. You can also change it by plan. So unfortunately, that if you prefer a 7-day work week, chances are your organization, I don't know if they have that specifically set or they even know that's set or not, but if that's their preference, then you'll just have to change that by each plan. Did that answer your question? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and continue putting them back in order. Now, the second thing I'm going to want to do here is premium plan luckily supports summary tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert a task above. I'm going to call it project schedule. I'm then going to insert another one here, and I'm going to call it summary task 1. I'm going to highlight all these 3 here, and I'm going to make them subtasks. I'm going to highlight all of these here and make them a subtask. So all of this is now going to roll up to here. As you can see here, I can see my total schedule is 11 days. It's 21% complete. It's my schedule starts at 4:10 and ends on 4:24. I'm going to add another summary task here. And make the rest of these part of summary task 2. So we can see here now I can collapse my summary task 1, collapse my summary task 2. Okay, so I mentioned that the basic plan comes with 9 what we call out-of-the-box columns. Our premium plan is going to give us a total of 17 what we call Microsoft out-of-the-box columns, plus the ability to create up to 10 custom task columns. I'm going to go ahead and hide my priority field, hide my bucket field, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of these other out-of-the-box columns, such as effort, effort completed, effort remaining, and I'm also going to add my dependencies column as well. So as we can see here, I can actually make my tasks depend on each other. So starting here, I'm going to make this task depend on 3, this one depend on 4. I'm going to go ahead and add a milestone task as well, which by definition is a task that's 0-day duration, 0 hours. So we have a question, when you hide them, how do you get them back? That's a great question. So I'm going to go to add column and they'll appear here. So I can see my bucket and priority here. So if I hide my depends on column, it's not going to show up here, depends on. Now let's create a new custom field. As I mentioned, we can create up to 10 custom task fields. I'm going to select new field here. That's going to allow me to create a text, date, number, yes, no, or a choice. Let's go with the choice field. I'm going to make yes green, no red, and not applicable gray. Now I'm going to go ahead and start assigning these. Now, as I mentioned, I can have up to 10 of these custom task fields. And if I hit my limit, I can simply get that back by simply deleting one of these. So for example, all my custom task fields, when I select here, I can select edit and then delete this field at the bottom if I no longer need it. I can also update the choice value, so I can create a new choice here at any time or change the name. Now, what's great about these custom task columns is it also gets added as one of my filter options. So for example, if I want to come in here and filter, I can filter by this critical task area. So I can say, show me all the ones that are yes, no, not applicable, or new choice. Now let's take a look at some of our views. Our board view is going to essentially be the same as you can see here. Once again, I can group by bucket assigned to priority, sprint, or goal. The main difference here is that with our buckets, we can actually apply a color background here in a premium view, which we can't do in a basic view. Let's move on to our timeline view here. We can see my milestone tasks, which I mentioned are 0-day duration. Let's go back and actually make that depend on the one above it. There we go. Now on our timeline view here, I can see my milestone tasks are identified by a diamond icon. From my timeline task, I can actually increase the duration of the tasks by simply dragging and dropping this here. Technically, I can change my dependencies as well by, you can see here, this dependency is finished to start. I can technically change my dependency by dragging and dropping this. However, it is a little finicky, so I actually would not recommend managing your dependencies from here. I would recommend using the depends on column to manage your dependencies rather than the timeline view. That's just my personal recommendation. However, increasing the duration of these tasks is fine from this view. As we can see here, this task was previously completed, but I extended the duration of the task. So now we can see it's only part of it is in progress. And if I come back here and you look at my percent complete column, it's 40% complete. So here we're going to have a more granular view of these tasks. Before in basic, we just had in progress. We couldn't assign any specific hours or specific percent complete. So we can see here that this task is 40% complete at 40 hours. So 16 hours are complete, as you can see here. We can see that this summary task is 18% complete and this summary task area is 13% complete, leading to a 16% complete. So as we can see from the timeline view, when I increase the duration of a task that's already in progress, such as, for example, this one's 50% complete, right? So if I come in here and I increase the duration of this task, it's going to account for that. So I go back to my grid view here, I can see the hours went up to 40 hours and now it's only 20% complete. Now there's no formal undo button, but what we do have is this little notification that appears here at the bottom that says task finish move to the previous workday. Press Control Z to undo, or I could select this undo button here. So I'm going to go ahead and select Control Z, and it's going to undo what I just did and give me a notification that the task finish date changed to April 27, 2025. In the timeline view, can you color code by people or task or tag? That would be nice, but unfortunately not at this time. Great thought, though. That is something that you could do like in Power BI, however. In our charts view, as you can see here, we're going to have a little difference. So we only have 3 charts here. And as I mentioned, the effort per person is going to be shown in a vertical view rather than horizontal. And of course, we're going to have that more granular detail of hours. Now, if I move to my people view here, this is another way we can drag and drop tasks and assign them to people. So I can drag and drop this, reassign here. But I also, once again, can use the board view and go to assign to and drag and drop this way as well. In our people view, by default here, it's going to show the number of tasks that are incomplete, late, or in progress. So if I go to my view options here, I can choose to show by hours instead, and I can turn off the compact mode and turn off hide completed tasks. And it's going to see right now it's not showing me the amount of completed tasks. If I turn this off, it will show me the number of complete tasks by hours right now. If I want to see by number of tasks, I can do it this way. This is my preferred view personally, but that may differ based on your preference or based on your type of schedule. We also have an area for Microsoft Goals, which is an area where you can add specific goals for your project. So for example, if we want to add a goal for complete tasks under budget, we can add new tasks to here, or we can connect to existing tasks by selecting Connect Task here. So of course, I would like to complete all of my tasks under budget, so I'll go ahead and assign that to all of them. Alternatively, from the grid view, we can also add our goals column here and reassign to goals this way as well. As we can see here, the assignment of goals is a 1-to-1 ratio, so I can't assign multiple goals to a task, and it only allows me to assign one. Now, the assignments view, which is our last view we're going to discuss before we dive into some questions, is going to be one of my favorite views. In the assignments view here, it's going to break it down to a very granular level. So we can see here, I currently have group by resource, and I'm on the current week. I can see here that the amount of hours I assigned for kickoff meeting to Charlene for 32 hours over the course of these 4 days broke it up to 8 hours a day. However, let's say that I actually need to change this. I can do that directly from this view, and it's going to update my hours for me. I can also increase the number. So right now this is ending on 4:15. I can see here that this is the weekend, I believe. Almost positive, 4:15. Nope, don't know why it's doing that. We can also increase this here as well. So we can see here, I can also group by task. And on that task where I have 2 resources assigned here, I can see here the way it broke it up. It actually assigns 0 tasks to myself, and for some reason put all 40 hours for Aaron. This seems to be a little bit of a bug here, but let's go ahead and assign myself some hours on this task as well. We can see it's going to increase the number of tasks. So I'm going to do 24 hours on this task. Aaron's going to do 40. I can group this by daily or weekly. And the good thing about weekly here or even monthly is that if I have a project schedule spanning many months, I can see here if I go back to group by resource that Charlene is doing 40 hours in the month of April. I can see here that Aaron's doing 96 and I'm doing 72. So obviously you don't want to be assigning, more than like ideally like 100, 160 hours to a specific resource per month. So this is a good way to make sure that you're not over allocating your resources as well. I'm going to go back to my timeline view and actually go ahead and make that one of these span into May. Go back to my assignments view, back to monthly, and I can see here that I'm doing 56 hours in May. Now we can see in Premium, I have this Copilot feature. So for example, I could go ahead and ask it questions like how many tasks someone's assigned, or add goals for a project launch, or here's some things. And obviously the more you use like any AI tool, the more you use it, the more it actually learns about you. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it to add some construction Looks like it's taking a little longer than usual today. While it's doing that, let's go ahead and dive into questions. Does anyone have any questions from today's webinar that we could go ahead and discuss? Let's stop generating and say, how many tasks are assigned to Charlene? This is some strange behavior I've actually never seen before. So of course it would happen during a webinar. This isn't typical behavior for Copilot. Copilot generally works pretty well. It would give me a feedback of all of the tasks that are assigned to Charlene, the details, the information, start and finish date, duration, effort, hours. It normally would populate that and give me that information. I'm going to go ahead and skip over this and end with this. If we want to convert our basic plan, our premium plan back to a basic plan, that option is going to be down here at the bottom. So I would get there by clicking on the plan name, scrolling down and selecting switch to basic plan. Of course, it's going to strip away any of those premium features. So for example, anything that has like effort hours or percent complete, it's just going to mark them as in progress. It's a very tricky situation. So it's not something I would recommend unless you absolutely need to do it. So since there's no questions at this time, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to Erin.
Awesome. Thank you, Stella. I know we had a wide range at the beginning of people who said how familiar they are with Planner, but I did want to advertise a training session that we have at the end of April on April 29th. It's a fundamentals training run by our customer success manager, Allison, and she's going to be doing activities, walk you through how to use Planner if you have a Microsoft 365 license or Plan 1 license. So all those basic features that Stella quickly walked through in the beginning, Allison will go through step by step and add some activities for you all. If anyone's interested in that, I will put a link to it in the chat. I will also be putting a link to a survey. If you have time to fill that out, it'd be great. It just lets us know what you thought of the webinar and make sure that we're adding value to our participants. And if you all have any questions as you're playing around with Planner, you're wanting some more capabilities, or you need any help at all, please feel free to reach out to our team. That's what we're here for, and we want to make sure you're getting the most out of your Microsoft investment. If there's no other questions, I'll give you guys back the couple more minutes back in your day. But thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, Stella.
Thanks, guys. Everyone have a great day.